everyone? Welcome back to the channel here. I have something here that I am truly super excited to go ahead and dive further into. It's been a long time coming. I know you guys have been waiting for it, so here it is, finally released, the Nomad N1 from Acedeck. And can I tell you that this thing is a rocket, a literal rocket. I can't explain it any other way than this is one of the boards that I got onto and I first put into S+ mode because I thought I was a professional rider. This thing humbled me in a way that I really had to dial back there, and let me explain why. Let me tell you a little story about the new kid on the block, Acedeck. The adventure, customer-focused excitement that they brought into the e-skate world is why Acedeck is actually named Acedeck. Did you notice that? Adventure, customer-focused excitement back into the e-skate world. Acedeck came into the game really swinging for the fences. When the Aries announced, it was one of those things where we were already getting carbon fiber boards like the Hurricane, things like that were out there, but we were now finally seeing a CNC truck system, which you would find reserved for more of your DIY projects on a production style board. This was kind of revolutionary. And on top of that, you were getting your 14S4P Moly Cell configuration series as well, which we were already in a 12S situation. So the power, the performance, the looks of these boards were coming out. Acedeck really made their mark hard and made their mark fast. They came, they conquered, they really have put out fantastic products. Now they're looking to their Bamboo series and they came out with the Nomad N1. This thing was announced. It was actually supposed to be released at EastgateCon in Vegas. There was a whole hiccup with Hong Kong customs and it never actually made it to there on time. That being said, I finally have it in my possession here, and guys, let me tell you, Acedeck again has just performed and produced a fantastic board. They have really just lined this thing up and knocked it out of the park. And here is why. Let me go ahead and explain a little bit further into it. So here she is. Look at this thing. Look at this deck. The lights there on the side, lights up there in the front, these trucks, split angle deck side with this W concave. This thing is gorgeous to look at and an absolute pleasure to ride. Let's go ahead and talk about the first thing that I noticed when I first got this thing. Is actually the deck. So this is a ridiculous maple, fiberglass, bamboo, maple, bamboo, maple, bamboo, fiberglass, maple deck. It is a
thick boy, let me tell you.
With like 3 C's there. They're saying that it's the same technology that they use inside of snowboards. I kind of disagree with that. It's no flex whatsoever to this board. There is literally, you step on this thing, you are firmly planted. There is no flex whatsoever. Now, it is an industry first to use this split angle deck system though. 8 degrees in the front, 8 degrees in the rear, and this gives you a downhill carve feel where you're actually able to get a more stable ride. It changes the whole geometry of the trucks. 8 degree plus in the front and 8 degree negative in the rear. It gives you a totally different look than what you normally see when you look at this board sideways. I mean, every other deck I've ever seen, it's got the double drop down, maybe a slight concave. This thing has this completely different feel to it. The carvability at even high speeds, it's definitely dialed in because of that. And then even like when you're on a track, when you're trying to like rip this thing around a corner or something like that, it just feels firmly planted. With this gorgeous W-shaped feel in the hump here, there's a perfect little pocket to kind of place your feet inside of in the back and the front. And trust me, you'll need that because the power that this thing puts out, you'll need every inch of this deck to be able to plant your feet, bite down, and God help you if you try to launch this thing off zero. It's just an absolute beast. And they did a really gorgeous job. They have this awesome Starry Night inspired, kind of like Mercedes-esque star looking thing here. I just think it's a really good looking deck inside there too. Obviously they have the holograms underneath there. It's basically just a sticker that is a iridescent sticker inside there. I do have a few little bubbles and stuff like that on there. Nothing to be, worried about in that sense, but it's just a really overall good looking deck. They did a really good job with it. And as far as me, it's a standout highlight feature. The deck from nose to tip is 38 inches length. The widest part of this is 10.5 inches where your feet are planted. There's a more narrow part in the middle there too. The standing platform, overall it's really comfortable. Even for me at 6 foot tall, I still had a really comfortable ride in here. It didn't matter if I was going for long distances or short distances. It definitely had a really nice, comfortable deck overall with it. I really did enjoy it. I think it's it's a standout feature for them. They're thinking outside the box. They're able to create this split angle system. They have this stability in mind, high speed stability in mind. And trust me, this thing accelerates beyond insanity. So they did a great job with the deck and truly loved it. So let's move on. So let's move on to the bottom part. Obviously the top part is a composite deck with the bamboo, maple, fiberglass, everything inside there. The bottom part is this really nice carbon fiber series inside of here with these 3 different accents lights on them. It's blues on the side, white up front. There is no red or anything indicators in the back there. There is the red power on button in there, but that is not, it's not illuminating the light or anything like that. It's really the 2 sides and the front. Now the thing is that you cannot change the colors, so it's blue and white. I think it's a really nice color. It's a really nice, accent to it. I do wish, that's probably my one thing out of the entire system, is I wish that you could be able to control the lights. Maybe down the road with their another N2 series Nomad or whatever it may be, that's something that they can incorporate inside there. But it's really nice and bright, especially at nighttime. You can absolutely see yourself. The white up front is not a replacement light. It is very bright. It does illuminate the trucks and stuff like that in front of you, and you can definitely see when you're coming onto it, but it's not a replacement light for something like a shred light system. It's not a headlight, but it's definitely a nice accent light in that sense. And obviously the carbon fiber deck, it's just absolutely gorgeous. They did a really nice job with it here. It's just simple. There is a rubber gasket seal all the way around there too, so you know that you can't drive through a puddle. You can take this off roading, take through grass, gravel, and not have to worry about it in that sense. I will say though, the front edge of these of the carbon fiber at the front here, you can see that there's little tiny chips that are hidden there. I'm assuming that's from rocks and stuff like that I've gone through. I haven't really taken it off of a curb per se, but I've done some aggressive driving with this thing and loose gravel parking lots. And I would say that that's probably from the front tire on a turn, kicking a rock right into that thing. So there's a kind of like a cosmetic little chips inside there. I would say if you're looking for anything like that, you could probably put some type of gecko derm or some type of protection on there if you're one of those people that wants to really keep your board in the most pristine shape possible. Just be aware of that. And obviously, as you can see underneath there too, that it has this really gorgeous heat sink inside of here. Dissipates all the heat sink from the ESC, getting it the maximum coolness possible. And really nice connector points for your motors back here too. Plug and play, has a nice Acedeck logo inside there. It's a really nice touch that they've done. And overall, just a really good, solid build quality. I mean, I was pretty pumped with this. They've done a fantastic job as far as assembling this deck and really using quality components all the way through, as Acedeck always does. Now let's talk about the insides of this thing. Acedeck came up with 3 different configurations for this board line. Basically starting out with the belt drive version and then 2 gear drive versions. The belt drive version is a 14S 3P Molicel P42A 60 amp ESC configuration. This is the option where it allows you to change your wheels out to street wheels if you wanted to and go that route and be able to sample different styles of wheels. The second generation is their step up into the gear drive. Now this also is a step up in the amperage as far as the ESC. It's a 90 amp ESC. Same battery, a 14S 3P Molicel P42A configuration, but the gear drive system and the larger ESC. And when I tell you that this ESC pumps out some serious power, it off the line is insane. Absolutely insane. Not being able to have tested the 60 amp ESC that came with the belt drive version, I've only had the 3rd configuration, which is their biggest configuration, which is the Samsung 40T 14S 4P configuration. This gives you a option of 16 amp hour at 828 watt hours of power. Now, the Samsung series is absolutely fantastic. It is a top tier Samsung battery. Molicel is king as far as the battery configuration in the world. So why they went with the first 2 tiers being Molicel and the highest tier being Samsung, I talked to them about it. It is a top tier situation. It just was to keep costs down and be able to keep this board at an affordable price range, which is still mind blowing to me that this board is the cost that it is. I think that they really, price per spec, this board is absolutely insane. I think you really have a really serious good bargain deal for this thing at $17.99 to get a 14S 4P configuration, 90 amp ESC, gear drive, insane tires, traditional style trucks that are CNC'd with the split angle deck, whole package deal. They really did do an insane job. We'll talk about that further. Now, battery goes into motors. Let's go ahead and talk about these motors. They are the 6384 150 kV motors. These things scream. Normal motors that are put on a lot of the 2-in-1 boards these days are about 6374. So this 6384 is bigger. It's the biggest one in the industry as far as your standard production board style goes. And they put out some serious power. These things attached to this gear drive, really off the line acceleration is just unbeatable. I'm telling you right now is that I've tried a lot of boards. I've sampled a lot of things out there, everything from built DIYs to your production series boards. S+ mode in this thing is not to be taken lightly. I know they normally advertise like, oh, speed and whatnot. This acceleration is nuts. Top end, it's not the fastest board I've ever been on. There's other boards out there that have gone way beyond the speed of this one. But as far as getting there, This is the only board that when I jumped on this thing in S Plus mode and hammered down on it, that it actually humbled me and really put like a smile on my face, but it humbled me very quickly. So it took some time, a lot of riding to be able to get used to this ESC, to get used to this power, to get used to this thing. Now, as far as this ESC and this battery and these motors go, it is a 90 amp ESC capable of 120 amp bursts of the initial power kickoff there too. Insanely powerful ESC, putting out power to these motors and being able to really get you up to speed very quickly. I mean, laughable in S Plus mode. S mode, definitely comfortable. Eco mode even gets you up to speed incredibly quickly. Low mode is one of those things where it's like if you're a beginner and you're just hopping on this thing, it's almost underpowered when you get on there. And you can see in the video, it's you know, they really did a great job trying to span, you know, if you're getting this board, you're trying to span the different abilities here. S Plus mode is for a serious professional situation. Talking about these trucks are 11-inch traditional Kingpin trucks that are custom CNC'd. A 45-degree angle on there, matched with the 8-degree of the split angle deck, gives you a very unique, stable platform. At high speeds, cornering, everything like that, it's a very hard rebound to come back and forth. So when you're coming back to center, when you are aggressively carving or whipping back and forth, it brings you back to center in a very smooth, straight way. I think off the line, it feels very close to like what a Riptide situation would give you, where your return to center is much smoother than you would find on the other brand bushings that are out there. On top of that, using their precision CNC trucks, their cups that are inside there that hold onto the bushings and the softness of the bushings up front and the harder bushings in the back, they really have dialed this thing in. They spent a lot of time working with the truck design system and being able to craft these things as much as possible to give you the most carvability, also the most stability at these speeds. And again, I jumped on this thing out of the box, didn't touch anything, got on it, S Plus mode, took off. This thing, whew, humbled me. I can't say that enough. This board is powerful. Please be careful when you're riding it. So one of the most interesting things that I've seen actually out of this company is that they've worked with Hoda directly and created their own vacuum sealed tires. These are 180 millimeter by 65 millimeter, which is basically a 7-inch tire by 65 millimeter wide vacuum tires. The cool part about this is that they actually are puncture resistant and they can even run as low as 0 PSI on them. So when I spoke to the owner and I asked him, I was like, can you give me a little bit more depth on these things? He said that they change shape during the amount of PSI. Top PSI on these things is only 28 PSI. 28 PSI is very low when it comes to the e-skate world. It's actually, if you're at 28 PSI on a regular Hoda tire, you've done something wrong. They typically run around the 45, 50 PSI mark. So it's kind of was, when I first looked at it, I said 28 PSI, that seems really weird. So from 0 to around 12 to 15 PSI, the tire actually changes shape and gives you a squared off tire, giving you way more contact resistance and way more contact patch for cornering, for speeds and stuff like that. Then as you inflate the PSI up to that 20, anything above 15 to 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, it actually bubbles up in the middle, giving you a more of a rounded shape so that when you are carving, you have a contact patch at higher speeds, being able to really kind of give yourself that grip on that sense when you're really carving into it. And it gives you better, range as far as that goes too, more inflated tire, less of a contact, resistance to the ground, but it is really nice. I've been running them around 26 PSI. I found that the 28 was way too hard for me, that when I was hitting bumps and stuff like that, it really did kind of like feel like really jarring, and 25, 26 PSI was really kind of giving me that sweet spot where I was getting a little bit of a squared off edge, kind of still around, but it was one of those things where the puncture resistance and the ability to kind of run these things at a lower PSI for better grip and a more square tire, it's really cool. I mean, that's kind of innovative in the sense where you don't see that in many other e-skate companies nowadays, especially ones that, these guys came out of the game. They really swung for the fence, and they have constantly challenging the norms when it comes to e-skate world as far as I'm concerned. Also paired with that is their beautiful CNC hubs. These guys, you saw these on their Aries series, they do a great job. I mean, metal CNC hubs over the plastic series, it does add a little bit more weight to it, but the rigidity is there. Everything about it's really nice, tactical, sharp looking as far as I'm concerned. Just a really nice, good looking thing. The CNC parts, I mean, a lot of companies really, you're getting to that $1,000+ $1,500, $1,600, $1,800 price range. You want to see premium features in that sense. Anything above $2,000, you really want to make sure you're getting like the most premium possible. And I think for this price point, with these CNC trucks, these CNC parts, this deck, the gear drive system, like you are really getting a lot of bang for your buck when you're looking at this board. So let's talk about their gear drive system. This is their brand new gear drive system. It is different than their NYX. Their NYX introduced the gear drive system to the Acedeck family. They went ahead and took that technology and made it even better. At a 4.3 ratio, a helical gear drive system to a metal gear drive system to a palm system, their Delrin system inside there. It is super quiet at low speeds. That was kind of the joke. I mean, if you're cruising around this thing at like the 15 to 20 mile an hour mark, no problem. You guys have all heard it. I'll show it to you again. When you get on this thing, it sounds like a jet engine, TIE fighter. I've never heard a noise like coming like this out of a skateboard before, other than your high-end gear drive like Skateboard race games. These things sound like, you know, just insane jet power engines. This thing, the noise that comes out of this thing when you get on it is beautiful. I love it. I love being able to hear that engine roar. It lets you know you're coming. People behind you know, oh, he's coming up on me. It's definitely a race-inspired sound in my sense. Like they're the Ferrari F1s of the e-skate world, you know, just high-pitched squeal, jet turbine engine. It's just so beautiful. For me, I think they did a fantastic job. At low speeds, it's very quiet. You're cruising around that like 10, 15, 20 mile an hour mark. If you're just cruising, you won't hear it that much. It's when you get on this thing, it's when you get to higher end speeds and when you really want to gun it off the line, this thing just shreds, it rips, it goes, and this thing takes off, it plants, and that's it. The acceleration of this thing is really unmatched from any other production board that I've rid. The 0 to top end speed, it gets you there as quick as possible. It's not the fastest board. I will say that I topped out at 32 miles an hour. I know their advertised top end speed is 37, but I was unable to hit that personally. So in talking to the owners of there, the person that tested it, that rides it, was 140 pounds. I'm 220 pounds. So moving me fast, him faster, I imagine that a lighter rider person could get to those theoretical top end speeds. God bless you if you do. At 32 miles an hour in a sub 4 second time frame, for me, is just like really insane. So let's go with final thoughts here. Who is this board for? If you are someone that is getting into the e-skate world and you are looking for a insanely powerful machine, then this is it. Period. Have a great day. No. I really must stress the power that comes out of the 90 amp ESC really is, S Plus mode is incredibly powerful. You jump on this thing, you really need to be aware of your situation and your skill level. Riding in the eco mode, riding in the sport mode, riding in the low mode, I would say that those are your starting points, and building your way up to S Plus mode, this thing is a beast. I cannot stress that enough. That being said, the power and performance could potentially be a con for someone who is just getting into it, but it's something that you will never feel necessary to upgrade in quite some time. They delivered on this one. If you're looking for a track ready board that you can go and rip around on and be able to conquer any terrain, this thing is that. Off-roading capability, it's there, but I wouldn't say that's their top performing situation. This thing is really a race street board in my opinion. You're looking to go ahead and make like corners at high speeds, get up to acceleration quickly, whip around again. Nomad is definitely your option there. From the deck to the carbon fiber to the wheels, the truck system, everything that they've done, they've really thought it out and presented it in a beautiful package system. The one thing I would say is a con is the lighting system. The lighting system, to me, I wish that they put a little bit more into it as far as giving you a rear light system potentially. I don't know where they would have put it. I don't necessarily like it on the back end there, but you know, if they could have done some type of rear red glowing underglow there too on the back end, that would have been nice. The blue on the side is nice and the white up front is nice, and being able to even control it would have been a little bit better. That's the one thing I would say, is that going from just the blues and the white, it's a nice touch, but what if you wanted green, or what if you wanted yellow or purple, whatever. If putting in some type of RGB system in the future would have been a nice touch to this board, because a lot of people do like those features. It is kind of just an add-on thing, but if you're gonna put it in there, it's definitely a nice feature to go ahead and be able to let the consumers control in that sense. Well guys, that is the first look at the Acedeck Nomad N1. What do you guys think about it? Is it something that you are looking forward to picking up? Do you appreciate that incredible high-pitched noise that it makes out, the insane acceleration speed this thing puts out, the long-range distance that it's claiming? There is gonna be a ton more videos I'm gonna be putting out of this one, uphill battles, range tests, speed tests. So go ahead and stay tuned to that channel. If you haven't yet, go ahead and give a comment down below. What are you most excited about for this board? Thumbs up this video, and if you haven't yet, subscribe. And I really appreciate, I've got actually a super thanks down there, and someone actually donated something to me, so that was beyond thankful, man. I really do appreciate that. If you guys enjoy these videos, and you know, it takes a lot of time and effort to go ahead and put this stuff out here, you know, a super thanks is a great way of showing support. There also is a discount code, ACEDREW. If you are looking to go ahead and get this board, it gives you a little money off the board there too, and a little money towards me. That is an affiliate code there too. But I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Until next time, always wear a helmet, stay safe, peace.